There is something you've been doing your entire life, something so fundamental, so constant, that you probably don't question it anymore. It's the act of thinking, mental chatter, daydreams, fears, plans, replays of the past and blueprints for the future. But here's a deeper truth most never stop to consider. Every thought you have generates a measurable frequency. Every emotion you experience radiates a signal into the space around you. This isn't just poetic talk. We are going far beyond motivation and mindset today. We're pulling back the curtain on the energetic architecture of reality, on the electromagnetic force of thought. Not metaphorically, not philosophically, but energetically, scientifically, measurably. You're about to discover that your thoughts are not just confined to the boundaries of your mind. They project outward, they radiate, they influence, and most importantly, they create. This video will challenge the traditional view of consciousness as some abstract inner experience. It will replace that idea with a startling possibility, that your mind is an energetic participant in shaping what happens outside of you, not just inside. We'll be tracing a direct link between the quality of your inner signals and the results you see in the outer world. And no, this isn't about wishful thinking, blind optimism, or vague self-help slogans. We're talking about electromagnetic fields, coherence states, frequency tuning, quantum alignment. Throughout this journey, you'll learn how your thoughts act like electrical currents and your emotions act like magnetic fields. And together, they form the personal electromagnetic signature that literally sends instructions into the quantum field. We'll explore how coherence between your heart and brain affects this signal, how charged intentions shape probabilities, how visualization acts as energetic rehearsal, and how entire collectives of people can amplify this effect and influence the outcomes of entire systems. This is about consciousness applied with precision. This is about reality recoded through vibration. This is about understanding the physics behind your thoughts and using it to create results. Today marks the start of that shift. So pay close attention, because these aren't just ideas to ponder. They're tools to master. Next, we will examine the powerful energetic exchange happening every moment between your thoughts and the external environment, and how your mind might not just be generating reality, but tuning into it as well. Thoughts have long been assumed to be private, internal experiences, mental images and narratives locked inside the skull. But in truth, every thought you think creates an electrical charge in the brain, and every one of those electrical charges produces a corresponding magnetic field. This is not a mystical idea. It's physics. Every electrical impulse, whether generated by a machine or a neuron, creates a magnetic ripple. So when you think a thought, you generate a current, and that current forms a magnetic field. In other words, your thinking brain functions like a transmitter, and the field it emits doesn't just stay in your head. It expands beyond your body, extending several feet in every direction. Now here's the twist. That same brain is also a receiver. It doesn't just send information into the field, it also picks up signals, frequencies, patterns, possibilities. This creates a dynamic loop. Your thoughts influence your energetic environment, and that environment responds with feedback, often in the form of synchronistic events, intuitive nudges, or patterns that emerge seemingly out of nowhere. So the question isn't whether you're influencing reality. The real question is this: what signal are you broadcasting? Let's get more precise. The average brain generates around 60,000 thoughts per day. Most of them are repetitive. Many of them are emotionally charged. Some of them are tied to memories, others to fears, goals, or desires. But regardless of their content, they all contribute to your electromagnetic output. That output has a frequency, a measurable vibrational quality. And frequency matters because it determines resonance. Just as a radio only picks up stations that match its tuning, your energetic field aligns with possibilities that resonate with your dominant frequency. So if your thoughts are saturated with fear, worry, and lack, you generate a signal that aligns with those states and attract corresponding experiences, not out of punishment, but out of pure, neutral resonance. Conversely, thoughts of empowerment, clarity, gratitude, and vision produce a higher, more coherent signal, one that connects to possibilities of abundance, opportunity, and synchronicity. This isn't superstition. This is measurable energy physics. Now let's break down the mechanism. The electromagnetic field of the human brain can be detected and measured by EEG machines. The strength of that field changes depending on your mental state. Focused thought, elevated emotion, and internal coherence amplify this field dramatically. But here's the deeper part: this field isn't just an output. It's also a scanner, a tuner. Your brain is constantly sifting through an infinite number of energetic inputs, from people, environments, even the collective unconscious. Which means that every time you shift your thoughts, you also change your channel. You change what your mind picks up from the field around you. This is why people in the same situation can have wildly different experiences. One person sees only obstacles. Another sees a doorway. They're standing in the same external world, but they're tuned to different inner frequencies. And therefore, they access different potentials. So how do you gain mastery over this? The first step is awareness. You have to become conscious of the signal you're generating. That means observing your thoughts, not just having them. Listening to the stories your mind repeats, especially the ones about fear, doubt, or limitation. Because those repetitive thought patterns are what form your energetic baseline. And that baseline becomes the filter through which you perceive everything, and more importantly, the magnet that draws events to you. Step 2 is intentional tuning. This involves choosing thoughts that elevate your frequency and reinforcing them until they become dominant. This doesn't mean forcing positivity or pretending everything is fine. It means aligning with thoughts that are energetically coherent, that match the feeling of the outcomes you want to experience. Thoughts of purpose, of capability, of contribution. These thoughts radiate order, and order in thought equals coherence in the field. Here's a powerful technique. Take a few moments each day to sit quietly and observe your dominant thought tone. Don't analyze content. Just notice the emotional and energetic flavor. Is it scattered, heavy, contracted, or focused, light, and expansive? Then, choose a thought that lifts the tone, one that brings a sense of clarity or empowerment. Hold it, breathe with it, let it fill your mental space. This is not mental gymnastics, it's energetic calibration. Another method is through written affirmations, not generic statements, but tailored thought patterns that evoke elevated emotion. These aren't magic words. They are frequency tools. Repeating them isn't about belief. It's about signal training. When done consistently, this rewires the way your brain broadcasts and shifts the type of feedback you receive from the external world. Now let's address a critical point. You cannot fake a frequency. Thought alone is not enough if it's empty of emotion. That's why wishing and hoping rarely lead to change. The brain might be thinking success, but if the heart is radiating fear, the overall signal is incoherent. True electromagnetic power comes from alignment, when your thoughts, emotions, and physiology are unified. This generates a strong, steady, coherent field. And coherence is what the quantum field responds to with precision. You've probably experienced moments of this without realizing it. Moments where time slowed down and clarity struck. Moments when something you wanted showed up without struggle. That wasn't luck. That was frequency match. So going forward, pay close attention to the signal you're sending. Because you're not just thinking about reality, you're participating in its formation. Next, we will explore how your emotions act as amplifiers for this signal, and why feeling may be the true engine behind your ability to influence matter and experience. Thoughts alone are not the engines of energetic influence. They are the blueprints. But it is emotion, the vivid, often uncontrollable current flowing through your body, that fuels the broadcast. Emotion is the voltage. It's the amplifying force that transforms a passive thought into a powerful energetic signature. Your thoughts can generate a signal, but unless that signal is paired with emotion, it remains weak, disorganized, and inconsistent. Emotion gives it strength. It binds the electric and magnetic components into a coherent frequency. That coherence is the language the universe understands. Let's be exact here. Every emotion you feel changes your body's chemistry, shifts your brain waves, alters your heart rhythm, and modifies your electromagnetic field. Gratitude produces one signature, anger a very different one, Resentment short-circuits the system. Joy restores energetic order. These emotional states are not vague sensations, they are data. This data is measurable through instruments such as ECGs, EEGs, and magnetometers. When a person experiences sustained frustration or fear, their heart rhythm becomes erratic. Their brainwaves scatter. Their electromagnetic field weakens and becomes chaotic. Conversely, during states of compassion, appreciation, or awe, the heart enters a rhythmic, smooth pattern known as coherence, and the entire biofield synchronizes. That synchronization is not just internal. It creates ripples in the field around you, sending a signal that either attracts aligned experiences or repels them. So when we say emotions fuel creation, we're speaking of actual electromagnetic transmission that carries the imprint of your inner state into the quantum environment. Now let's make this practical. If you're trying to change your life by merely thinking positively while feeling afraid, resentful, or doubtful, you're generating two different frequencies. The signal is scrambled. The field reads contradiction. You're mentally signaling one direction, while emotionally pulling in another. That is why results don't materialize. You must bring thought and emotion into congruence. This doesn't mean you have to feel euphoric all the time. It means you must train your system to dwell in elevated emotional states with consistency. Elevated emotions include joy, wonder, reverence, gratitude, love, empowerment, and deep peace. These emotions increase HRV, heart rate variability, a direct marker of autonomic balance. They also harmonize the relationship between the heart and the brain, creating electromagnetic coherence. From that coherent state, intention becomes potent, focused, laser-like. Emotions also affect memory and perception. When you feel gratitude, you notice things to be grateful for. When you feel anxious, your nervous system scans for threats. Not because external reality changed, but because emotion modifies attention. That shift in attention alters the information you access, which then reinforces the emotional state. This creates a feedback loop between your inner world and outer circumstances. Let's be clear, emotion doesn't just color experience, it codes it. In brain science, emotion strengthens neural connections. Highly emotional events create long-lasting memories. They anchor information. From an energetic perspective, this means emotions bind the energetic structure of thought to the quantum field. If thought is the instruction, emotion is the binding agent. Without it, the thought dissipates. With it, the signal locks in. This is why visualization alone often fails to produce change. The image must be emotionally alive. It must be felt, not just imagined. You must enter the emotional dimension of your intended outcome before it arrives. This isn't pretending. It's not lying to yourself. It's energetic rehearsal. And your body begins to respond as if the outcome is already real. That, in turn, changes your electromagnetic output and modifies what possibilities you align with in the external world. Let's go deeper. Emotions can be thought of as energetic frequencies, each with a measurable vibration. Anger vibrates at a different frequency than serenity. Shame sits low on the vibrational scale. Courage rises above neutrality. Joy and love move into high-frequency territory. These vibrational levels aren't just emotional categories, they are different broadcast patterns. And each pattern resonates with different possibilities in the quantum field. So how do you use this information? Start by identifying your dominant emotional states. Track them daily, not just momentarily but as sustained fields. Notice the background emotional noise you carry: irritation, hopelessness, pressure, or resentment. These are not harmless. They're shaping your energetic field, even when you're unaware of them. Next, begin cultivating elevated emotions. This is not about forcing anything. It's about choosing focus. Gratitude is one of the most effective starting points. Not gratitude for something external, but the feeling of gratitude itself, summoned intentionally. This practice increases heart coherence. That coherence stabilizes brain function, enhances intuition, and strengthens the biofield. Over time, it shifts your emotional set point, and therefore your default frequency. Breath work is another powerful tool. Deep, rhythmic breathing activates the parasympathetic system, calms emotional chaos, and creates space for coherent states to emerge. Pairing this with visualization and affirmations makes the process exponential. Here's a critical truth. Emotions are habits. They are trains your nervous system runs by default. But you are not locked into those rails. Through awareness, practice, and consistent energetic hygiene, you can reroute the tracks and generate entirely new emotional frequencies. Those frequencies will then begin attracting different patterns, different people, different opportunities, because emotion doesn't just reflect experience. It selects it. This is not metaphor. This is magnetic reality in motion. Next, we will look at the core engine behind this magnetic force, the electromagnetic power of the heart, and why it may be the most potent generator of reality-shaping energy in the entire human system. The heart is often romanticized as the seat of love, intuition, and soul. But beneath the poetry lies an extraordinary fact. The heart is the most powerful electromagnetic generator in the human body. Its electric field is about 100 times stronger than that of the brain. Its magnetic field, up to 60 times stronger. These fields are not static. They shift, pulse, and expand based on your emotional state. And unlike the brain's field, which remains mostly confined to the skull, the heart's field radiates outward, creating a sphere of influence around your body that can extend several feet in all directions. This field is real. It has been measured using magnetometers and other sensitive instruments. And it changes second by second depending on what you're feeling. When the heart is in a state of frustration, worry, or anger, its electrical signals become erratic. The field destabilizes. Communication between the heart and the brain breaks down. Stress hormones surge. Immune function drops. Clarity disappears. But in a state of coherence, such as appreciation, calm, or compassion, the heart's rhythm becomes smooth and synchronized. The electrical signals it sends to the brain become orderly. Neural efficiency increases. Hormonal balance is restored. And the electromagnetic field becomes coherent. This coherent field is not just a health marker. It's an information carrier. The heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. This challenges the long-standing belief that the brain is in charge. In fact, the heart has its own nervous system, sometimes called the heart brain, with around 40,000 neurons, can sense, remember, and learn. These heart signals influence brain function, emotional processing, attention, and perception. In coherent states, the communication between heart and brain becomes optimized. That optimization increases your ability to focus intention, regulate emotion, and shift reality. More importantly, a coherent heart field affects others. Studies have shown that one person's heart rhythm can influence the brainwaves of another person standing nearby. Couples, teams, and even strangers can sync up, without speaking, just by sharing space and emotional states. This proves something profound. The heart is a broadcast center. It sends out an energetic message, one that is felt and received, even if unconsciously. So what are you broadcasting? If your heart is in a contracted state, you're sending confusion into the field. Resistance. Static. But in a coherent state, your heart emits a signal of order. One that resonates with opportunity, connection, and ease. This is why people with highly coherent heart fields are often called magnetic. It's not charm. It's energy. Let's translate this into usable practice. To create a powerful electromagnetic field, begin by training your heart into coherence. This isn't about forcing emotion. It's about cultivating states that naturally generate harmony. Start with heart-focused breathing. Slow, rhythmic breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth, while placing your attention in the center of your chest. As you breathe, recall a memory or situation that activates a sense of appreciation. Not excitement, not intensity, just quiet, sustained appreciation. Let it fill the space. Let the rhythm stabilize. Do this for 5 minutes a day, then increase to 10. The physiological changes are immediate: reduced cortisol, increased DHEA, improved HRV. But more importantly, your field begins to shift. You will begin to notice changes in interactions. People will respond to your presence differently. You will feel more intuitive. Decision-making becomes sharper. You'll experience more synchronicities, not because the world changed, but because your field is now aligned with order. The heart also plays a central role in intention. Setting a clear mental intention without emotional charge is weak. But pairing that intention with a heart-generated emotional frequency creates a powerful magnetic imprint. That imprint influences probability. It selects outcomes from the quantum field that match the emotional frequency you're projecting. To take this further, incorporate emotional rehearsal into your intention setting. As you visualize a goal, bring the associated emotion into the heart center. Let your body feel as though the event has already occurred. Let the coherence of your heart seal that frequency into your field. This is not wishing. This is energetic transmission. Over time, as this becomes a practice, not an exception, your life begins to reflect that field. Because your field is not just a mirror of your emotions. It's an architect of your experiences. The heart is not just a pump. It's a generator. It's a tuner. And when used with intention and awareness, it becomes the most reliable tool for aligning your inner state with the outer outcomes you wish to experience. Next, we will explore how coherence between the heart and the brain acts as the stabilizing bridge that enhances intention, sharpens awareness, and strengthens your ability to influence energy and experience with precision. Your brain and heart are not separate command centers operating in isolation. They are in continuous dialogue, exchanging signals, interpreting feedback, and modulating your internal and external experience. When this dialogue is erratic, your energy is fragmented. When this dialogue is harmonious, your energy becomes a focused, magnetic force. This alignment is known as heart-brain coherence. Heart-brain coherence is a physiological and energetic state in which the rhythm of the heart aligns with the rhythms of the brain. When coherence is present, your thoughts and emotions operate in sync. Your nervous system stabilizes. Hormones regulate. The body enters a state of balance. But more than that, your personal electromagnetic field becomes ordered, efficient, and sharply resonant. This is not a conceptual idea. It is a measurable condition. Coherence can be tracked in real time using heart rate variability monitoring systems and neurofeedback equipment. Incoherence appears as jagged, chaotic waveforms. Coherence produces smooth, rhythmic, sine wave-like patterns. These coherent signals are indicators of optimal performance, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. Most people spend their days in a state of incoherence, pulled by thoughts of fear, urgency, irritation, and judgment. Even when these emotions are mild, they fragment the heart-brain signal. They generate internal noise, and that noise weakens your field, reducing your influence on your environment and your ability to maintain clarity under pressure. To change outcomes in your life, you must first change the state of your internal signal. Coherence is not about feeling good. It's about gaining energetic control. The first step is understanding how the heart and brain communicate. The heart sends information to the brain through several pathways. Neurologically via the vagus nerve, biochemically through hormones, and electromagnetically through its field. This input from the heart significantly affects brain function. In fact, during coherent states, the heart signals regulate the brain's higher cognitive centers, enhancing intuition, creativity, and decision-making. This means your brain is not always in charge. Often, it's the heart that sets the tone, especially when emotional states are strong. In moments of fear or stress, the heart's erratic rhythm disrupts cognitive function. In moments of calm and appreciation, the heart's stable rhythm enhances awareness and precision. Now consider this. If your heart is broadcasting one frequency and your brain is broadcasting another, your entire energetic system is in conflict. Thought may be aiming in one direction, while emotion pulls in the opposite. This lack of alignment scrambles the message you're sending into the quantum field. The universe responds to clarity, not contradiction. So coherence is not just an ideal, it is a requirement for reliable, energetic influence. It is the gateway through which thought becomes magnetic. The process for achieving coherence begins with intentional regulation of both the body and mind. The most direct method is heart-focused breathing. Start by shifting your attention to the area around your heart. Breathe slowly and deeply, creating a smooth, balanced rhythm. This simple act begins to bring your nervous system into parasympathetic dominance, reducing stress responses and calming chaotic thought. Next, generate a sincere feeling of appreciation or compassion. Not forced, not faked, just a quiet internal activation of a renewing emotion. It may help to recall a moment of genuine peace or a person you care about. Let the feeling expand. This act initiates coherence. It begins to align your emotional and mental signals. Stay in this state for several minutes, and you will notice an immediate shift in clarity, focus, and calm. Now combine this state with intention. While in coherence, introduce a thought, a vision, a possibility you wish to bring into experience. Allow that mental picture to pair with the elevated emotion you've activated. The thought provides structure. The emotion provides power. Together, they create a coherent electromagnetic signal. This signal is far more effective than thought or emotion alone. It is focused, unified, and harmonious, and as such, it is capable of influencing the field around you with greater precision. Here's where it becomes truly powerful. In a coherent state, your field becomes entraining. This means it influences the energy fields of others, subtly encouraging alignment. This is why coherent individuals often shift the emotional tone of a room without speaking. Their energy speaks louder than their words. Organizations that train employees in coherence have shown reductions in workplace stress, increased performance, and improved interpersonal dynamics. Coherence is not just a personal tool, it is a field effect. There are also long-term benefits. Regular coherence practice rewires the brain for emotional regulation. It builds resilience. It conditions the nervous system to remain balanced even in the face of chaos. And over time, this creates a baseline frequency of trust, presence, and power. Let's correct a common misconception here. Coherence does not mean perfection. It does not mean the absence of challenge. It means stability, the ability to remain centered, even when circumstances fluctuate. This internal stability radiates outward. It influences events without force, creates openings without effort. When used consistently, coherence becomes a lifestyle, not just a technique. You begin to experience more synchronicity, more alignment, less resistance. You begin to trust your intuition, because the noise of internal conflict has quieted. Next, we will investigate how belief, attention, and observation function as energetic commands, and how they interact with the quantum field to collapse potential into form. Thought is energy, but not all thought carries the same weight. The thoughts that consistently influence reality are the ones tied to belief, because belief acts as an energetic lens through which all information is filtered and all energy is directed. To understand how beliefs influence creation, we need to shift perspectives from the psychological to the quantum. Quantum mechanics shows us that particles do not exist in fixed states until observed. Instead, they remain in a field of probability, a state of potential, until attention collapses them into form. This isn't theory, it's observation. In experiments such as the double slit, the act of measuring or observing a particle forces it to behave like a particle instead of a wave. That is, consciousness influences the state of matter. Now scale that idea up. Your beliefs function as sustained observation. They are not just mental positions. They are frequency patterns, energetic commands sent into the quantum field, determining which potentials take shape and which remain dormant. This means the structure of your beliefs determines the architecture of your reality. If you hold a belief, conscious or unconscious, that you are not worthy, that belief sends a consistent energetic instruction to the field. It collapses opportunities that match that frequency. If you believe success is possible but difficult, the field responds with friction. If you believe you are supported, the field arranges synchronicities that confirm it. This is not law of attraction marketing. This is resonance. The field reflects the dominant instructions you feed it, and those instructions are coded in belief. So how do you change belief? How do you break the cycle of energetic instruction that creates unwanted patterns? The first step is to identify the current energetic program. This requires clarity and precision. Begin by observing your automatic thoughts and behaviors. What assumptions guide your reactions? What outcomes do you expect before they occur? These assumptions are not random. They are the echoes of belief. Often they are inherited. Cultural programming, parental impressions, childhood experiences coded into your nervous system. But regardless of their origin, they now function as energetic filters. And until reprogrammed, they distort your signal. To reprogram a belief, you must do two things simultaneously. Disrupt the old pattern and install a new frequency. Disruption occurs through awareness. When you recognize a thought pattern that is rooted in limitation, name it. See it not as truth, but as programming. This act weakens the neural association and begins to separate your identity from the belief. Next, install a coherent replacement. Not through wishful affirmations, but through emotionally encoded thought. Create a belief statement that reflects the frequency of the life you want to create. For example, I am supported in ways seen and unseen. Then, enter a state of coherence using the practices outlined earlier. From that state, repeat the belief not just mentally but emotionally. Feel its reality. Let your body memorize the sensation. This repetition creates a new signal, one that, over time, becomes dominant. That dominance changes perception. It alters attention. And since attention collapses quantum potentials, the change becomes visible in the external world. Let's add another layer. Your subconscious beliefs affect what you can perceive. The human brain processes over 11 million bits of information per second, but only about 40 bits reach conscious awareness. Belief acts as the filter that determines which 40 bits you see. If your belief filter is tuned to lack, you will only perceive opportunities that confirm that lack. Not because others don't exist, but because your brain has been trained not to see them. This is why shifting belief expands your world. It widens your perceptual filter. It allows you to notice options you previously dismissed. And that new awareness changes behavior. Behavior creates momentum. Momentum reshapes experience. There's also a quantum impact. The field responds to your focus. The more emotionally charged and coherent that focus, the stronger the collapse of probability into form. Belief is not just internal architecture, it is a precision tool that selects reality. Here's a technique to enhance this process. Each morning, choose a belief you wish to embody. Before your mind is crowded with distractions, enter a state of coherence. Focus on your heart. Breathe deeply. Generate an elevated emotion. Appreciation, calm, certainty. From that state, repeat the belief mentally. Then visualize yourself acting from that belief. Not wishing for it, living it, speaking from it, moving with it. Let your nervous system rehearse that future state. This daily act changes your frequency. It calibrates your field to a new instruction. Over time, that instruction gains dominance. The field responds accordingly. There's no need to force. There is only frequency, consistency, and clarity. Every belief is a broadcast. Every expectation is a signal. You are not a passive observer of reality. You are a signal emitter, choosing which possibilities solidify through the energy of your sustained focus. Next, we will turn to the role of intention and how to charge your desires with coherence, emotion, and clarity so they imprint the quantum field with maximum precision and power. Intentions are not casual wishes or mental preferences. They are blueprints, energetic structures, encoded into the quantum field through focused attention, emotional charge, and coherent clarity. Every intention carries a frequency. That frequency either stabilizes into form or dissipates into noise depending on how it's transmitted. To imprint an intention onto the field effectively, 3 elements must align: clarity of thought, emotional energy, and physiological coherence. Without all 3, the signal lacks strength. Without strength, the field does not register the message. And when the field doesn't register the message, no matter how strong the desire is, the result remains unfocused or absent. Let's begin with clarity. Clarity is precision. It is the difference between broadcasting static and transmitting a clear signal. When an intention is vague, I want to be happy, I hope things get better, the field receives no specific instruction. There's no target, no shape, no resonance. To set a clear intention, Define the state or condition you wish to create in exact emotional, sensory, and energetic terms. Not just the outcome, but the inner experience that will come with it. You must identify the vibrational signature of the desired state. Not the appearance of the event, but the frequency it will generate in your body. If you seek abundance, define what abundance feels like. Freedom, security, generosity, empowerment. That feeling is the frequency. That frequency is the code. That code is the message you are sending to the field. Once the code is selected, the next step is emotional charging. Thought provides form. Emotion provides fuel. Without emotion, an intention is an empty shell. It does not penetrate the field. The stronger the emotion, the deeper the imprint. This is not about intense excitement or overdrive. It is about coherence. The emotion must match the nature of the intention. Gratitude for what is becoming. Love for what is forming. Certainty without desperation. The emotion must support the outcome energetically, not contradict it with fear or need. This is where many misfire. They hold an intention in their mind, but their emotional state contradicts it. The thought says, "This will happen." The feeling says, "I doubt it." The resulting field transmission is scrambled. The feedback from the field becomes inconsistent. To charge an intention, you must practice emotional congruence. Feel the outcome as already real. Not in fantasy, but in frequency. You're not trying to convince the universe. You're training your nervous system. This is where physiological coherence becomes essential. When the body is stressed, rushed, distracted, or incoherent, the signal sent to the field is weak or distorted. Even a strong thought, paired with a hopeful emotion, will fail to anchor if the body is in a disordered state. The nervous system must be aligned with the intention. To bring the body into coherence, use breath. Use stillness. Use heart-centered techniques. Let the body settle. Then introduce the intention. Let the intention land in a calm vessel. Let it fill the space. Let it be held without grasping. This is how you charge an intention. You let it stabilize. You let it radiate from the heart, not just echo in the head. You let it leave an imprint. Now consider this. The field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. Your state, not your request, is what matters. This is why you must become the frequency of the outcome before the outcome occurs. Intention is not begging. It is resonance. You match the vibration of the desired state, and the field responds by arranging events, circumstances, people, and insights that mirror that state. This process is not about micromanaging outcomes. It's about energetic alignment. You don't have to know how the result will unfold. You only need to hold the frequency of its truth consistently, cleanly, and with trust. Here's a powerful method to practice. Step 1. Enter coherence. Breathe into your heart. Slow, rhythmic. Settle your body. Stabilize your attention. Step 2. Recall a time when you felt pure gratitude. Not because something big happened, but because something felt right. Let that emotion expand in your chest. Step 3. Bring to mind your intention. See it. Feel it. Let the emotion of its fulfillment merge with your coherent state. Don't chase the image. Let the image anchor in your energy. Step 4. Release. Not as a surrender of hope, but as a signal of trust. Let the field absorb the frequency. Then return to your day with presence. This process is not about repetition. It is about depth. The more coherent your state, the fewer times you need to repeat it. One clear, strong, emotionally charged intention, transmitted in deep coherence, carries more weight than 1,000 scattered wishes. There's another layer: environment. Your surroundings affect your signal. Your routines either support coherence or disrupt it. Your relationships either enhance your frequency or drain it. This doesn't mean you must isolate yourself. It means you must become selective about where you invest your attention, because your attention is the transmitter of your frequency. Your intention will only become a stable part of your reality if your energy field is supported by your behavior. Integrity with yourself is key. You must act in alignment with the frequency you wish to hold. Every decision either confirms or contradicts your intention. Every thought either stabilizes or destabilizes it. This is not pressure, this is precision. So hold your intention like a frequency, not a wish. Let it become your new baseline. Let it become your emotional home. Let your thoughts reinforce it. Let your heart radiate it. Let your body trust it. The field doesn't need convincing. It needs coherence. Next, we will focus on how you can measure the quality of your energetic output, using real tools and technologies to track your alignment and improve the signal you're sending into the quantum environment. You've heard it said many times, your energy speaks before you do. But what does that really mean? More importantly, can it be tracked? Can your internal state be measured in real time, giving you feedback about your frequency, your coherence, and your influence? The answer is yes. Energy may be invisible, but it's not inaccessible. And with the right tools, you can observe, quantify, and enhance your personal electromagnetic output. Let's begin with heart rate variability, HRV. This is one of the most direct indicators of your energetic coherence. HRV is not your heart rate. It's the variation in time between each heartbeat. Greater variability indicates a flexible, adaptive nervous system, one that can move between sympathetic and parasympathetic states smoothly. When you are calm, focused, and emotionally regulated, HRV increases. When you are stressed, reactive, or mentally scattered, HRV decreases. This makes HRV a powerful proxy for your energetic state. High HRV equals coherence. Low HRV equals dissonance. Devices such as M-Wave and Inner Balance, developed by HeartMath Institute, allow you to see your HRV in real time. They display your level of coherence as a waveform, updating with each breath. This feedback helps you train your body into a state of synchronized rhythm, not just for relaxation but for energetic impact. Next is EEG electroencephalography. This measures the brain's electrical activity, allowing you to see which frequencies dominate your mental landscape. Beta waves are associated with alertness and problem-solving. Alpha waves signal relaxed awareness and creativity. Theta waves correlate with deep states of meditation and subconscious access. Gamma waves link to peak mental performance and transcendence. When you practice coherence, your EEG patterns shift. The brain becomes more efficient. Communication between hemispheres improves. Thought becomes more ordered. This neurological alignment supports the broadcast of clear intention. Devices like Muse and NeuroSky offer simplified EEG tracking for personal use. While they may not rival clinical systems, they provide real-time insight into your mental rhythm, allowing you to refine your inner state with precision. Then there is biofeedback. This umbrella term includes tools that track breath rate, skin conductivity, temperature, muscle tension, and more. These physical signals reflect emotional and energetic states. When used consciously, biofeedback teaches you how to recognize stress patterns early and correct them before they shape your field. One of the lesser-known yet profound tools is GDV gas discharge visualization. Developed by Russian physicist Konstantin Korotkov, this technique captures the subtle energy field around your fingertips using high-voltage photography. While controversial, GDV has been used to track changes in emotional and energetic states before and after meditation, intention, or healing work. The point is not to become obsessed with metrics. The point is to become informed, to take your energy from the realm of abstraction into the realm of mastery. When you measure your state, you gain awareness. When you have awareness, you gain choice. You are no longer reacting unconsciously, you are creating intentionally. Now let's translate this into practical use. Start with daily tracking. Use an HRV device for 5 minutes in the morning. Observe how your baseline shifts over time. Begin to correlate certain thoughts, environments, or people with changes in your coherence. This will teach you what strengthens or weakens your field. Combine this with breath work. Use your breath to influence HRV and EEG patterns. Inhale slowly through the nose. Exhale slightly longer through the mouth. Stay consistent. As your coherence increases, note the corresponding mental clarity and emotional regulation. Track your results, not just in numbers but in outcomes. Does your day flow more smoothly after coherence practice? Do conversations improve? Do synchronicities increase? These patterns are not coincidental. They are feedback from the field. Your energy leaves a trail. It influences probability. When that energy is coherent, the trail becomes clear, and the feedback becomes favorable. Another layer is intention tracking. Pair your coherence sessions with specific intentions. Set a theme, connection, clarity, healing, success. Enter coherence, feel the state, transmit it into the field. Then observe how reality responds. Over time, you will develop trust, not based on belief but on data. This process creates a loop: awareness, action, alignment, adjustment. You become the observer and the creator. You begin to feel your energy not as a mystery, but as a measurable, trainable, and powerful force. Next, we will move into one of the most transformative applications of this understanding, using visualization not just as imagination, but as energetic programming that instructs the field and codes new outcomes into motion. Visualization is not daydreaming. It's not escapism. It's not mental entertainment. It is the intentional application of inner imagery to shape external outcomes through energetic precision. When used with understanding and coherence, visualization becomes a directive, a programming language for your personal electromagnetic field. This programming is not abstract. Your brain does not fully distinguish between what is imagined and what is experienced. In both scenarios, many of the same neural circuits fire. The same areas of the brain activate. The same chemical cascades begin. The nervous system responds to vivid internal imagery as if it were interacting with real conditions. This means that the more precisely and emotionally you visualize, the more effectively you imprint your intention into your own neurology and, by extension, into the quantum field. Thought becomes architecture. Emotion becomes energy. Visualization becomes energetic rehearsal. To activate this power fully, certain components must be present. First is clarity. Visualization cannot be blurry, unfocused, or scattered. The image must be specific. It must include sensory details, what you see, hear, feel, smell, and touch. It must be fully formed, not general. For example, instead of visualizing success, visualize the moment success is recognized, the setting, the response, the feeling in your chest, the expression on your face. This level of detail anchors the signal. Next is embodiment. You must place yourself inside the visualization, not as an observer watching yourself, but as the participant. First person, fully immersed. You're not seeing it happen. You are the one it's happening to. This immersion increases neural engagement and strengthens the electromagnetic signature. Then comes emotion. Without emotional charge, the image has no energy. It lacks power. The field doesn't respond to visuals alone. It responds to vibration. You must feel the outcome as if it is alive inside you. This emotional authenticity enhances coherence. The stronger the emotion, the clearer the field signal. Here's a principle to remember. The field does not respond to fantasy. It responds to frequency. The more aligned the emotion is with the imagined outcome, the more energetically real that image becomes. That realism is what codes the quantum environment. But there's a nuance many overlook: duration. Visualization is not a race. You must give the image time to saturate your field. The longer you hold the vision in a coherent emotional state, the deeper the imprint. Repetition reinforces the code. Consistency strengthens the signal. Short, scattered sessions with no emotional depth send conflicting messages. The field reflects that confusion. But clear, emotionally aligned sessions, repeated regularly, instruct the field with clarity. And clarity produces feedback. Now let's talk rhythm. Visualization is most effective during specific states of brainwave activity. Right after waking and just before sleep, your brain moves through alpha and theta frequencies. These states are more suggestible. The critical mind softens. The subconscious becomes more accessible. Visualization during these windows bypasses resistance and imprints more directly. In practice, this means visualizing immediately upon waking, before checking your phone, before reviewing your to-do list, and again before sleep when the mind is calm and less defended. These periods act as gateways. They allow imagery to move from conscious desire to energetic instruction. There's also value in coupling visualization with breath. Breath regulates the nervous system. It anchors you in the body. It enhances coherence. When you pair slow, rhythmic breathing with vivid imagery and elevated emotion, you amplify the transmission of your intention. Here's a usable structure. Start by sitting comfortably. Close your eyes. Place your attention in the heart. Begin slow, even breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6. Let your body settle. Let your mind slow. Now activate a feeling of gratitude. Let that feeling build in your chest. Let it grow without forcing. From this emotionally coherent state, begin your visualization. See the outcome clearly. Feel it. Step into it. Let the emotion merge with the image. Sustain it for several minutes. Then let go. Not in frustration, in trust. Let the image dissolve into the field. Return to stillness. Open your eyes slowly. Carry the residual energy into your day. When practiced consistently, this technique recalibrates your electromagnetic field. It shifts your baseline frequency. It prepares your nervous system for new outcomes. And over time, those outcomes begin to form, not as surprises but as confirmations. Here's something crucial. Visualization is not about control. It's about alignment. You're not forcing reality to comply. You're offering a coherent energetic pattern to the field. The field then reflects that pattern in the most efficient way possible. This also means that attachment can interfere. If your visualization is driven by desperation, the emotion contradicts the image. The field receives a message of fear, not fulfillment. This weakens the signal. The most effective visualizations are those rooted in gratitude, presence, and certainty. Not grasping, not pleading, but grounded trust. This emotional tone amplifies the clarity of the signal and accelerates results. Now consider adding a layer of spoken word. Combining visualization with affirmations enhances the energetic imprint. Speaking aloud while visualizing adds auditory stimulation, reinforces belief, and energizes the nervous system. For example, while visualizing a moment of success, you might speak the words, "I am aligned with this outcome. I feel it. I trust it. It is real within me." These words, paired with the image and emotion, create a multisensory instruction, one that the field receives more completely. There's another application, corrective visualization. This is used to overwrite old emotional memories or limiting scripts. When a memory produces fear or doubt, you can reimagine it. You can visualize a different outcome, one that empowers instead of diminishes. Over time, the nervous system adopts the new image as its reference point. This process is not denial. It's energetic editing. Your subconscious does not distinguish between remembered pain and imagined healing. It responds to the emotional charge. If you change the charge, you change the pattern. Visualization is not only for creation. It is also for recalibration. You can use it to shift identity, rewrite response patterns, and rehearse new ways of being, all from the inside out. Because when your nervous system experiences the future before it happens, your field begins aligning with that future. You start thinking like the version of yourself who has already arrived. You start feeling like that version. You start acting like that version. And the field reflects it. Next, we will confront the idea that your reality may not be singular or fixed, that multiple versions of your life already exist as potential, and that your frequency determines which of them becomes your lived experience. Reality is not linear. It is layered. What appears to be a single unfolding path is actually one possible timeline among many, selected, accessed, and experienced based on the frequency you emit. This is not science fiction. It's an extension of quantum theory and consciousness studies. In the quantum realm, particles exist in multiple states simultaneously, a principle known as superposition. They don't collapse into a single state until observed. Your awareness is the observer, and your energy determines what you observe. This means that different versions of your life, different paths, outcomes, relationships, events, all exist as potential. They are real in the field. They are waiting to be activated. The variable is frequency. Each timeline has a vibrational signature. A version of your life defined by fear, scarcity, and survival exists at one level of frequency. Another version defined by clarity, creativity, and expansion exists at a different level. You are the selector. Your state is the access point. This shifts the focus from controlling external events to managing internal vibration. Because when your frequency changes, your timeline shifts. Not symbolically, energetically. Frequency is a combination of thought patterns, emotional tone, physiological rhythm, and intention. It is your signature, your access key. When it matches a timeline, you experience that version of reality. When it changes, you experience another. Shifting timelines is not dramatic. It's subtle. It's the moment a conversation flows that would have stalled. The moment an idea lands when you least expect it. The moment a person crosses your path who alters everything. These aren't coincidences. They are reflections. Signs that your frequency has shifted and that you've moved into resonance with a new version of your life. But how do you shift deliberately? First, release the belief that life is fixed. You are not here to endure a single script. You are here to interact with possibility. Your current circumstances are not permanent. They are reflections of past frequency, not definitions of future potential. Next, identify the version of yourself you wish to activate. What does that version think consistently? What emotions are familiar in that state? How does that version behave, speak, rest, connect, and move? Now begin living as that version, not externally but energetically. Think like that version. Feel like that version. Train your nervous system to normalize that experience. Let it become your baseline. This is not pretending. It's programming. You're not faking a reality. You're aligning with it. Another powerful technique is decision point alignment. Every decision is a fork. Each choice reinforces a timeline. When you act from fear, you stay on one path. When you act from trust, you shift. Micro-shifts accumulate. Over time, they reroute your trajectory. So bring consciousness to your choices. Ask, does this action belong to the version of me I'm activating? If not, shift. Even one aligned action begins the movement. The field responds. Let's address resistance. Shifting timelines may disrupt comfort zones. Old identities may collapse. Relationships may change. Opportunities may exit. This is not punishment. It's resonance realigning. As you shift, what no longer matches your frequency will fall away. What does match will appear. Let it. Don't cling. Don't question every disruption. Reality reorganizes to fit your new signal. You can also accelerate shifts through environment. Curate your inputs. Music, conversation, media, they all affect frequency. Surround yourself with signals that match your desired timeline. Let your environment reflect where you're going, not where you've been. Journaling helps anchor this. Each day, write as if you've already shifted. Describe events, emotions, and realizations from the perspective of your new timeline. Let your subconscious adopt that version as normal. This builds energetic momentum. One of the most potent tools is identity recalibration. Stop trying to fix the old version of you. Begin embodying the new one. Speak from that voice. Walk with that posture. Think from that clarity. Not because it's fantasy, but because it's frequency. The more time you spend aligned with that version, the more that version becomes dominant. That dominance collapses potential into experience. This is not metaphor. It's mechanics. You are not waiting for reality to change. You are selecting a version of reality that already exists and becoming the match for it. Next, we will explore how silence, stillness, and focused inner states sharpen your broadcast, refine your signal, and amplify your influence on the field through the science and art of coherence-based meditation. Meditation is often misunderstood as a passive escape, a retreat into quiet for the sake of relaxation. But when applied with energetic intent and structural awareness, it becomes one of the most effective tools for refining the signal you send into the quantum field. This is where coherence meditation comes in. Coherence meditation is not about detachment. It is about alignment. It is not about zoning out. It is about tuning in with precision to the state where thought, emotion, body, and energy operate as one coherent signal. That signal is what creates. That signal is what the field responds to. That signal, when stabilized, becomes magnetic. Let's begin by understanding what coherence means in this context. Coherence is a physiological, neurological, and energetic condition where all systems, heart rhythm, brainwaves, breathing pattern, and emotional state, move into harmony. When coherence is reached, the electromagnetic field of the body stabilizes into a smooth, unified frequency. This frequency does not just remain internal. It extends beyond the body, communicates with the quantum field. Incoherence, by contrast, occurs when you sit in meditation with a scattered mind, a tense body, or a conflicted emotional state. Even if you appear still on the outside, the signal you're emitting is fragmented. There is no clarity, no stability, no resonance, and so the field has nothing coherent to reflect back. The key is to bring the body into stillness, the mind into calm, and the emotions into elevated harmony, all at once. This process is not theoretical. It is mechanical. Each part must be addressed in order. First, the body. Begin your practice by sitting upright, not rigid but alert, grounded. Let your spine extend. Let your chest open slightly. This posture supports open circulation, stable breathing, and alert awareness. Now bring attention to your breath. Breathe slowly. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Exhale through your mouth for 6 counts. This rhythm slows the heartbeat, lowers cortisol, and activates the parasympathetic nervous system. After several rounds of breath, turn attention inward, not toward your thoughts, but toward your heart. Bring awareness to the space in the center of your chest. Let that space become the focal point. Next, the emotions. Select an emotion that naturally produces coherence. Gratitude, compassion, appreciation, calm certainty. Don't just name it, feel it. Summon a memory or an imagined moment that brings this emotion alive. Let the feeling rise. Let it expand in the heart space. At this point, breath, heart, and emotion begin to synchronize. The field begins to shift. The body moves from beta-dominant, stress mode operation into a more coherent state. Now the mind. Allow thought to soften. Let mental commentary fade into the background. If thoughts arise, acknowledge them, then return to the breath. Then return to the heart. Then return to the emotion. Let the mind become the servant, not the master of the state you're creating. Once coherence is felt, and it will be felt as a sense of balance, warmth, and rhythmic stillness, you are ready to introduce intention. Do not rush this part. Most people jump into intention setting too quickly. The body is still agitated. The heart is still guarded. The breath is still shallow. And the result is a weak imprint. But once coherence is established, the intention can land. At this point, bring a clear image or statement into your awareness. It must be vivid. It must be emotionally resonant. It must match the frequency of the coherent emotion you've already cultivated. Now breathe with the image. Let it merge with the heart. Let it blend with the feeling. You are now broadcasting, not just to your subconscious, not just to your nervous system, but to the field. The longer you hold this state without drifting, without straining, the deeper the broadcast, the stronger the signal, the more precise the field's response. 10 minutes of this coherent, emotionally charged meditation carries more manifesting force than hours of scattered wishing or mental repetition. Here's why. In this state, your brain shifts into alpha or theta waves. Your body releases stress hormones and increases DHEA. Your field becomes measurable in terms of coherence and strength. All systems align, and the energetic message becomes unified. That unity is what allows your instruction to register in the quantum environment. That registration is what activates potential. That activation is what generates result. Let's now go into maintenance. Coherence meditation must be practiced daily, not as a luxury, but as calibration. You are not just relaxing. You are tuning your broadcast. You are cleaning the signal. You are resetting your magnetic frequency. One missed session will not unravel your signal, but inconsistency prevents stabilization. And without stabilization, the signal never gains strength. Morning sessions are ideal. They set the tone. They shape the frequency of your decisions, responses, and focus throughout the day. Evening sessions help release resistance, anchor gratitude, and refine your field before sleep. You can also build micro-practices throughout the day, 60 seconds of breath and heart focus during transitions. This trains your system to remain coherent in motion, not just in stillness. Coherence meditation is not about removing thought. It is about generating a new kind of thought, one that emerges from alignment, not noise. It is not about escaping reality. It is about shaping reality from the inside out. It is not optional. It is the foundation of energetic command. Next, we will look beyond the individual into the amplified power of shared frequency and how collective coherence has the potential to influence not just outcomes, but entire systems of reality. The power of one person in a coherent, emotionally charged, heart-centered state is significant. The power of many people in that same state, synchronized, focused, and aligned, is exponential. This is the principle of collective field resonance. When two or more individuals generate coherent electromagnetic fields in the same space, those fields interact. They begin to sync. This is not conceptual. It is measurable. Coherent heart rhythms can entrain each other. Brainwaves can synchronize. The group field becomes unified. This unified field has properties that exceed the sum of its parts. It becomes a larger energy structure, capable of influencing matter, emotion, thought, and probability far beyond what each participant could achieve alone. This effect has been documented in various group meditation experiments. In the 1990s, studies known as the Maharishi effect revealed that focused group meditation on peace correlated with measurable reductions in crime, violence, and accidents in target areas. These effects occurred across cities, states, and even countries, with only a few thousand participants broadcasting a coherent intention. Skeptics argue causation, but regardless of interpretation, the data shows something undeniable. Group coherence alters outcomes. This happens because the field receives a stronger, more stabilized signal. More hearts, more coherence, more emotional charge, more alignment. The field becomes saturated with a unified frequency. That frequency influences events. But this isn't limited to large global meditations. It applies to teams, families, communities. Any group with shared focus and coherent intent becomes a generator of outcomes. The key is alignment. Each participant must be internally coherent, emotionally stable, present, and heart-centered. When a group enters this state together, their fields begin to harmonize. That harmony creates a collective signal, clear, strong, and difficult to ignore. In practice, this means that a small group, even 5 or 10 people, who enter a state of coherence and direct their intention toward a shared outcome, can produce noticeable shifts. In health, in weather, in systems, in social dynamics. This is not about manipulation. It's not control. It's resonance. Let's break it down into elements. First, emotional synchronization. Each person must activate the same frequency, such as compassion, peace, or gratitude. This harmonizes heart rhythms. Second, shared intention. The group must agree on a clear, emotionally resonant outcome. Not a specific how, a frequency target. Third, coherent practice. The group must breathe together, focus together, feel together. Even if participants are not in the same physical space, simultaneous coherence creates a non-local field, a resonance bridge across time and space. This non-local field is where quantum influence occurs. Location becomes irrelevant. The emotional and energetic state determines impact. What amplifies the effect is ritual, repetition, regular practice. The more often a group meets, aligns, and broadcasts, the more powerful their field becomes. The signal gains weight. The results become more consistent. Over time, the group field becomes semi-autonomous. It develops a kind of energetic identity. When individuals plug into it, they feel the coherence instantly. Their own field strengthens. Their own energy stabilizes. Collective support becomes internal support. This is why being part of an intentional group accelerates personal transformation. You are not just working on yourself. You are being carried by a field that reflects your highest frequency. It is also why collective healing sessions often yield results that individual practice does not. The emotional charge of the group, when focused on one person's intention, creates a powerful healing field. The receiver is supported by resonance. Their system begins to match the incoming frequency. Change occurs. This is not fantasy. This is entrainment. Now imagine scaling this globally. What becomes possible when thousands or millions of individuals enter coherence simultaneously and direct their energy toward planetary balance? This is not a philosophical question. It is a logistical one, because the technology now exists. Platforms for synchronized meditation, apps for coherence training, data systems for real-time HRV tracking. The infrastructure for global field engineering is forming. What's missing is consistency, commitment, daily practice, shared protocols. That's where leadership enters. When individuals take responsibility not just for their personal frequency, but for contributing to a larger field, momentum builds. Fields stabilize. Outcomes begin to shift. Macro change becomes tangible. Each person must ask, what am I feeding the field today? Fear, confusion, judgment, or clarity, peace, and resonance? Every thought, every emotional reaction, every response to conflict, it all becomes part of the collective broadcast. This is not pressure. This is precision. You are never powerless when you understand the field. So start small. Build your group. Create coherence regularly. Share intention. Track results. Watch patterns form. Adjust. Continue. When enough people become intentional broadcasters, the collective field changes. And when the collective field changes, reality reorganizes. Next, we will close this series by integrating everything, creating a practical daily system for energetic alignment, conscious creation, and living as a walking, breathing, magnetic force in harmony with the infinite. You've explored the nature of thought as frequency, felt the emotional engine behind intention, synchronized your heart and brain, and discovered how the quantum field responds to coherence. You've learned how visualization programs the field, how parallel realities are selected by state, how silence refines your signal, and how collective focus reshapes the macro. Now it's time to integrate, because none of this is theory unless it becomes behavior. Understanding is only the beginning. Real transformation happens when energetic knowledge becomes a living pattern, when it moves from insight to embodiment, from concept to practice, from temporary effort to natural expression. This is what it means to live as a magnet. Living as a magnet is not about manifesting one-time wins or isolated synchronicities. It's about becoming a continuously aligned presence, radiating coherence, attracting what matches, filtering out what doesn't, and responding to life from the energetic center of who you are. It's about shaping your field deliberately, every day, every moment. This is not forced. It is trained, not dramatic, but precise. So what does that actually look like in practice? Let's begin with your mornings. Your waking state is one of the most programmable periods of the day. Your brain is shifting from theta to alpha, your subconscious is still accessible, and your body has not yet defaulted to its usual rhythms. Use this time wisely. Before touching your phone, before reviewing the demands of the day, return to your field. Sit, breathe, shift attention to your heart. Regulate your breath, in slowly for 4 counts, out for 6. Allow the system to synchronize. Then bring in emotion. Not excitement, not mental stimulation, but resonance. Begin with appreciation. Then select the dominant frequency you wish to embody for the day. Clarity, calm power, generosity, precision, or love. Feel it. Let it anchor. Once that frequency is stable, introduce intention. Not as a wish, but as a state. Who are you as this version of yourself? What do you notice? What do you choose? What does this version radiate? Let your system begin broadcasting that signal before you act. This is not visualization as fantasy. It's energetic activation. You are aligning your field, not just your mindset. After this practice, go about your day, but remain conscious of your frequency. Every interaction is a reflection. Every challenge is an invitation. Every conversation is a field exchange. Observe your internal state. Notice when your coherence dips. Irritation, urgency, distraction. These are not flaws. They are feedback. They let you know the field is misaligned. Pause. Breathe. Reset. Micro adjustments throughout the day keep the signal clean. You don't need perfection, you need awareness. Precision over pressure. Your body plays a key role in this. Movement anchors frequency. If your energy begins to stagnate, move it. Walk. Breathe deeply. Stretch. Let your body participate in alignment. You are not a floating head. You are an electromagnetic system. Let it flow. Your language matters too. Every word spoken is a reflection of frequency. Speak from the version of you that already lives the outcomes you intend. Speak with calm certainty, not desperation. Speak from coherence, not reaction. Your voice carries your vibration, and your focus, your attention, is your tuning device. Whatever you give sustained attention to, you amplify. Not because of superstition, because of resonance. Attention is an energy commitment. Make that commitment intentional. If a thought lowers your frequency, don't analyze it endlessly. Replace it. Breathe into your center. Choose a new frequency. Shift. Redirect. Evenings are your second anchor. Just before sleep, your brain re-enters alpha and theta frequencies. This is another access point to the subconscious and therefore the field. Use this time to clear the static of the day. Reflect. Recalibrate. Release low-frequency attachments. Forgive yourself. Appreciate the progress. Realign with your core frequency. Then return to intention, but not as problem-solving. Simply feel the frequency of who you are becoming. Let that version of you be the last imprint before sleep. Your subconscious will carry it through the night. When repeated consistently, these rhythms begin to rewire your identity. You become the version of yourself that aligns with the frequency you once reached for. You stop trying to get somewhere and start embodying that place. It becomes less about creating events and more about becoming a match for events that are already waiting. Living as a magnet is also about boundaries, not to control others, but to protect your field. You are responsible for your signal. That means choosing where you invest your attention, who you allow into your energy, and how you process external input. Not from fear, from clarity. You are either reinforcing your signal or weakening it. Every scroll, every headline, every argument, it's all input. And that input has frequency. You get to choose what enters. You get to choose what stabilizes inside you. This includes your environment. Your physical space either supports your coherence or scatters it. Design your environment to reflect your dominant frequency. Simplify. Clear clutter. Add symbols that remind you of your chosen state. Make your space a mirror of the version of you you're becoming. Nutrition and hydration affect frequency too. Coherence is supported by clean fuel. Not rigid rules, but conscious choices. What you consume either sharpens or dulls your energetic field. Respect your instrument. Connection amplifies coherence. Surround yourself with others who are aware of their energy. Share practices. Reflect alignment. Strengthen the group field. Let mutual resonance create feedback that deepens personal frequency. Living as a magnet is not about always feeling good. It's about remaining aware, adjusting your state, and realigning with your center again and again. It's about knowing how to return to your signal regardless of what arises. Let's now summarize a practical structure. Daily magnetic practice. Morning 10 to 15 minutes. Breath coherence. Emotional activation. Intention anchoring. Daytime. Throughout. Micro adjustments. Breath resets. Frequency tracking. Evening 10 to 15 minutes. Energy clearing. Gratitude calibration. Subconscious programming. Incorporate additional tools as needed. HRV feedback devices. Journaling for frequency tracking. Visualization sessions. Collective coherence practices. Over time, this rhythm becomes natural. You stop chasing change. You start embodying alignment. And that alignment attracts outcomes, not through force, but through resonance. Results become more consistent. Relationships deepen. Clarity sharpens. Resistance fades. You move through life with less reactivity and more creative power. Because you are no longer reacting to the field. You are informing it. You are no longer begging for outcomes. You are becoming the frequency they respond to. And you are no longer hoping for miracles. You are becoming the field in which they occur. This is not about transcending life. It's about inhabiting it fully as a coherent, conscious, magnetic force. So here you are, trained, tuned, activated, not to wait, but to radiate, because your field is speaking every moment. Not just when you meditate or visualize or journal. It speaks when you walk, when you breathe, when you think, when you choose. Now you understand the language. Now you understand the tools. Now you understand the system. You are the transmitter. You are the signal. You are the magnet. Let the field reflect it.